Hey, welcome to Gen X Guy Live. How's everybody doing? Hit me in the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. Who's here? Where are you coming from? I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, which you probably saw from the opener. See, we got a few people on here. My chat and my video software is not really working right now, but I think I have another way of viewing it. I hope. Not exactly sure what's going on with my chat software, but go figure. Let's jump right into it. Got a lot of stuff going on. Are we gonna go to war with Iran? That's the big one right now. Not sure. But let's look at gold first. What's happening with gold? Can everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I think you can hear me. Showing that you can hear me. Gold trying to get back above 5. Had a pretty good day today. Silver tried to make a climb. This is on the hourly. So just kind of keep that in mind. These are hourly candles showing a little positive momentum here. But we've since come back. I think we've got a lot of uncertainty about what's happening with the Iran situation. This is going to be something to watch. We'll just go to that right now. Let me see if I can find it right here. So Axios reports that there is evidence that U.S. war with Iran is imminent, and Israel is preparing for a scenario of war within days, which is expected to include weeks-long, full-fledged war, unlike the Venezuelan operation, sources say. And then number 2, joint U.S.-Israeli campaign that is much broader in scope than 12-day war in June. There's also a U.S. Armada now consists of 2 aircraft carriers, 12 warships, hundreds of fighter jets, and multiple air defense systems. I also noticed that we are running a train of fighter jets and tanker planes, Air Force, across over to Saudi Arabia. That's been talked about. More than 150 U.S. military cargo flights have moved weapon systems and ammunition to the Middle East. Another 50 fighter jets in the last 24 hours, including F-35s, 22s, and 16s. And oil prices are going up. So we'll go back and look at oil prices real quick. Oil, let's see, U.S. oil, yeah, something going on here. We were doing good. So gas at the pump going to go up. And if we go to war with Iran, you can probably expect that to really get crazy fast. What did I just do here? Let me get rid of this. And this. Okay. What else do we have in the news? Looking at crypto real quick. Still chopping along. Bitcoin 66, 67. It's toying with that 65 to 70 range. We are getting some chop. It seems like a lot of the seller exhaustion has ended. If we do start bombing Iran, I have no idea what that's going to do to things. We'll see. Can't be good, right? It's never good when you start blowing stuff up and war starts. What else do we have going on here? Crypto bubble chart, ugly. We won't look at that. It's just, and even stocks didn't do that great today. So things are not doing well. I did see this. American Dream revolves around home ownership. And so there's still a lot more to do, but housing prices are falling thanks to President Trump. That's a little weird. It's weird because I just talked about this in a video, and it's coming out tomorrow actually, and I'll give you a little sneak peek. He's talking about how he wants the home prices for all these homeowners, boomers, to stay up forever, which I don't agree with at all. I think the market should handle it. I don't think anybody should be manipulating the market at all. But so he's talking out of two sides of his mouth here. He's saying they're coming down, but then he's telling for everyone, right? And then, but he's saying, oh, if you own your home, we don't want you. We wanted the price. You wanted to keep going up. That's really not how it works. You can't have it both ways. But we'll see how that turns out. Where that's going to end up going in the end. So, what else do we have here? So, the Clarity Act. You don't know, Clarity Act gives us a little bit of regulation around crypto. We've already got the Genius Act, which regulates stable coins. That's been done. And so now we're on the Clarity Act. Where's that going? What's that mean? Somebody knows something, right? All of a sudden it jumped up 90% chances that it's Clarity Act signed into law, just went vertical on poly markets. So the prediction markets are thinking something's close to signing. I think the crypto exchanges like Coinbase and that group and the banks are having it out to try to determine who's going to win at the end of the day. I think we're going to get the Clarity Act, but I at least want it to be decent. I don't want it to be junk. So we'll see on that. Let's see, what do we have next? Fed Reserve just pumped $15.5 billion into the banking system through overnight repos. Fourth largest liquidity injection since COVID and surpasses even the peak of the dot-com bubble. Here we go. Print that money. Keep on printing it. Yeah, this is good right here. Oh, boy. Next thing I saw here is the 60-day delinquency rate on U.S. prime auto loans is up a record 6.9%. I talk about this in my video coming out tomorrow, that when things get bad and people are strapped for cash and we've got unemployment starting to get shaky here, a lot of people that have done well in tech are getting laid off. And those people have homes. A lot of them, I'm sure, have mortgages. So what happens? If you don't have income anymore and you've got all these expenses, what are you going to cut first? Are you going to cut your credit card? You're going to stop paying your credit cards first. Then you're going to stop paying your car. You won't pay your car. And then after that, what comes next? Your house. And so then we're going to start seeing foreclosures. And that's when things will change. I see a lot of binary right now in the housing market. You got some people say, it's great. We're booming at record prices. And congratulations, by the way. You'll see my video tomorrow, another little sneak peek. We just broke the record on unaffordability in the United States. And I won't give you any more information. You'll have to watch the video tomorrow to get that on real estate. But at the same time, I think those numbers are a little misleading. I think it's going to come. The prices are coming down. I see it just in the South Nashville area where I'm at. Houses are staying on the market longer, and prices are starting to come down. Sellers are starting to compete, and when sellers have to compete, what happens to prices? Prices come down. I've been here in this area, the Brentwood, Franklin, Cool Springs, south of Nashville now for going on 2 years. And when we first got here, there was nothing to be had. Nothing. And if there was, it did not last long. It went off the market very fast, and including stuff for rent. And so now that's not the same. We're seeing more stuff pop up on the market. We're seeing more stuff sitting longer, and I'm seeing price reduced notifications coming in left and right. So real estate. Stay tuned for my video tomorrow. I break all this down in a pretty good little video. We're going to change pace from gold, silver, the metals, and Bitcoin. Talk real estate tomorrow. Some good stuff on that. But yeah, here we are. Card delinquency on subprime auto loans. We're back into that 08-09 situation that we're in, which is crazy. I saw this. Non-asset owners are being left behind. U.S. consumer sentiment among non-stockholders stands at near the lowest level in 8 years. So 8 years was prior to the pandemic. So we'll see. It has been in this downtrend for 6 straight years. At the same time, sentiment among the largest stockholders is up to the highest in 12 months. So the gap between the two groups widened to 15 points, the highest since 2024. By comparison, in 2018 to 2022, sentiment between the groups moved in lockstep. Own assets or get left behind, and that is 100% correct. You have to get your hands on assets, and you got 5 years roughly, in my opinion, to get them. Maybe 10 if you're lucky. You got to get assets. What's that? That is gold, silver, Bitcoin, hard assets, even real estate when it comes down, and it's coming down. Getting buyers, get ready. Your time is coming. And get your hands on these hard assets, the tech stocks, the good stocks, the S&P 500. Get yourself into some good assets. It'll serve you well. What's going on with AI now is unbelievable. If you're not using AI right now in your daily life, you're behind already. You have to start implementing AI and these AI tools into your daily life and understanding what they are and how they work and how they can benefit you. Because we're going to come to a world with a lot of unemployment, and if you don't think that's going to happen, just hold tight. You're going to see it's already happening. I've got a degree in tech and business and a dual. And I thought just a few years ago, within 5 years ago, I said, yeah, I can plenty of work. I can go do whatever I want to do. However, I'm tech. Always be work for me. I've always had it, always will. I don't say that anymore. I've pivoted fast. And I'm old. I'm 52. I'm a Gen Xer in tech. So you better buckle up, because AI is able to do a lot of things that it used to be that only somebody like myself in tech could do. Well, now what AI is able to do is mind blowing. And guess what? It keeps getting better and it keeps getting better. And so stay tuned for that. Do what you can to learn AI. You got two routes you can go with it. You need to figure out ways that you can connect with people, because as we move to more AI, connecting with people is going to become more of a big deal. And because people are going to want to interact with people more, which is actually a good thing. Because if you look, since the advent of social media, we've gone away from connecting. Well, we connect, but it's with a phone in front of our face all the time. And so now we're kind of going back to our roots. So what's going to be popular? Sporting events are going to be huge. I think sports are going to be even bigger than they are now, because people are going to want to go engage with real life people playing football, hockey, baseball, pick your favorite sport, soccer, what have you. People are going to want to connect with that. Entertainment, entertainers, music, concerts. That's what people are going to be wanting. The other use for AI is to figure out ways to build businesses using AI and around AI. It can provide you with all sorts of ideas and fast track you into coming up with some good business ideas. In addition to, if you're already a business owner, figure out ways that you can implement AI into your business, because once you figure that out, the power is pretty amazing. So on to the next topic here. This just goes along with what I'm saying. Investors own more Mag 7 stocks than ever. Hedge funds total U.S. net exposure to Mag 7 stocks is up to a record 22%. This percentage has risen 10 points since just April 2025, not even a year ago. That's unbelievable. Net exposure has nearly tripled since 2022 bear market low. Furthermore, net exposure to semiconductors and semiconductor equipment is up to a 5-year high. At the same time, net exposure to software is down to a 5-year low. Hedge funds are all in on tech. Yes, and that's interesting, because now we're in this hardware-centric mode where we're chips, buildings, data centers, hardware, computers, processing, cloud. We're in that hardware race now and not so much software, because software is really going to the OpenAI, to Google Gemini, to Claude, to all the AI tools that are out there. And so we're kind of pulling back on software. And so all of the software players that you're seeing win big are who? Google, Alphabet. They're winning big. Why? Because they're on both sides. They're on the software side and they're on the AI side and they're on the infrastructure side. So Google has played their cards very, very well. And that's why you're seeing Google really shine right now in tech. So, that was interesting there. I saw this. If you got kids that are in high school, middle school, or you've got kids that are going to be, or maybe even in college, this is going to open your eyes. I've got one that's 20, a daughter 20, and I got another one that's 16. So she's got a few years. But the first one is in limbo right now, and she was going to a school to get a degree in business data analytics, and that's off the table. That's not happening anymore. With some guidance from myself, which we've been trained, and this is another topic I briefly covered in some of my real earlier videos, but I think I'm going to bring them back and talk more about this whole college degree and all of that. I mean, I'm a Gen Xer. I graduated from high school in 1992, and I graduated from college in 1997. And so, with a degree in tech and business. And so, back then, it was imperative that you got your degree. So we went through a period of time through World War II and even into like the Vietnam War. So the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, where college degree it was not really attainable. You went to high school and then you went out and you farmed or you had hands-on. Of course, you had people in higher white-collar jobs, but not near what we have today. And so we get into the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010. So the college degree became a big deal, right? The knowledge-based society, being smart and getting these tech degrees and the internet opened up all sorts of opportunities for getting degrees. And that's I came in and got a degree in computer science right when the internet was starting to hit big. If you remember, it was the mid-late 90s. And when all of a sudden this internet, what's this going on here? And so, but now it's different. I would have thought 5 years ago, getting a degree in computer science, computer information systems, data analytics, data science, that type of stuff would be, plenty of work, no problem, right out of college, name your price, no problem. And that was what my oldest daughter was going to get a degree in. Well, guess what? That's not the case anymore, because that degree, AI can literally do it better, quicker, faster, and analyze and do it way better than a human can. So things are different now. So with this post here, and a lot of these are Kobisi letter, by the way. They're a great, if you're on X at all, which I am a lot, this is a great resource to follow. Their stuff is high quality. I highly recommend it. And this is where I get a lot of my knowledge from and what the latest data and stats that are going on. They do a good job of compiling it. But they say the underemployment rate for U.S. college is at crisis levels. The underemployment rate for recent college graduates is up 42.5%, the highest since the 2020 pandemic peak. This means nearly half of all graduates are working jobs that do not require a college degree. Yep, and it's going to be even more so. The rate also matches the levels seen during the 2008 financial crisis. Furthermore, 52% of all college graduates are underemployed upon initial entry into the labor market. Underemployed meaning they're not being employed for what they got their degree in or for what they should be employed for. So even 10 years after graduation, 45% of college graduates remain underemployed. Criminal justice majors have the highest underemployment rate at 67.2%, followed by performing arts at 62.3%. That's not a shocker. Medical technicians at 57.9%. That kind of shocks me because it's healthcare related. We've been told that the healthcare is demand and all this kind of stuff. And then liberal arts, 56.5. That's not shocking. And anthropology, 55.9. That's not shocking. Americans are paying more than ever for a degree and no longer guarantees the career it promises. I got a controversial message for all of you that are watching this video or will be watching this video after it streams. You need to really sit down and think about, if you've got kids that are in high school, middle school, high school and down. If they're a senior in high school or younger, you really need to think about this whole college thing. And let me tell you why. I got a lot of people around me in this area, South Nashville, and where my daughter goes to school, high school, is one of the best high schools in the state of Tennessee. And it blows my mind. And you do you. It's your family. It's your kids. It's your life. You choose to do what you do with your family, and I'll choose to do with mine. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous and insane to go and spend minimum $200,000 on a sought-after degree from a sought-after university. And if you're not going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or anything that absolutely requires multiple levels of education, you're wasting your time and your money. I'm just telling you now that you need to punt and think about what it is you're doing and what skills, what you really want to do. Because to go to a modern day university now that's just charging these unbelievably high fees, rates to attend these colleges, to go to get a 4-year degree. And that's even if you have the cash. If you don't, you're taking out loans. And then on top of that, you're going to be in debt and you're going to get a degree. And if it's not in a degree that's highly sought after, which some of these medical healthcare are even struggling, you better make damn sure that whatever degree it is you get, that you're pretty much going to have work after. Otherwise, you're going to spend 4 years, maybe 5, maybe 6 years of your life trying to attain, and that's if you're having to work too to help pay for it, and get that degree, that piece of paper. For what? For what? And people are going to say, oh, and I know this is a hot take. This is controversial. And let me hear it in the comments because I'm sure it's coming. Oh, you're crazy and all this. But I got different ideas and having this discussion with my kids and what they're going to do and where they're going. And with AI, it's you guys have no idea. The unemployment rate right now for kids coming out of college is 10%. The national unemployment rate is like 4.3 to 4.4%. So put that in your smoke and pipe it for a minute. I mean, that's not good. That's just across the board. And so if you're getting a marketing degree, nothing against people that do marketing and nothing against people who've got marketing degrees that have great jobs right now. If you're watching this channel, you're watching me on this live stream right now, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, I got a marketing degree. Great. Good for you. But you probably just didn't get it within the last handful of years. You probably have had it for a long time and you've been in the space for quite a while. So just keep that in mind that, and then people say, well, it's about the experience. You go to experience and you get hammered, you get drunk, you hang out with your friends and, all that and, all that stuff. And pretty soon AI and the world and the economy is not going to care about your college experience and how much fun you had and how fun it was going to the football game and going and rooting, go this, go that. And so at this school where my daughter goes to, these people are obsessed with where their kids are going to go to college. And it's you name it. It's the names. It's Alabama. It's Purdue. It's UNC. It's Georgia. It's Auburn. It's Ole Miss. It's Vandy, Vanderbilt. It's Kentucky. It's Georgia Tech. I mean, you name it. It's Virginia Tech. It's all over the board. And a lot of these kids at the school, they're ultra smart. And I'll tell you this, we were at a band banquet last year at the end of the year for seniors, right? And so we had these, so we bring this senior next, they're in the band program. So we have like this, where are these kids going to school and what are they going to get degrees in? And they kind of chart them one by one up stage. Every single one, we're talking maybe 25 seniors, maybe 30 seniors, something like that. And every single one of them was a major college institution. Major. Tennessee, Vandy, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, UNC. The list just keeps going on and on and on, all these kids. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and it's AP class after AP class after AP class, and it's just chasing. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think these people understand. I don't understand. Yeah, sure, there's going to be fringe cases. No question about it. There's going to be kids that go off, they have the great college experience, they come out, they become the doctor, they become the lawyer. They may even become the computer scientist. I mean, yeah, okay. But for the vast majority, these people are going to go to school for 4 years. Yeah, they'll have a good time, no doubt. They're going to have the time of their life. But when it's all said and done, you come out and you look back and go, yeah, well, I had a good time, and go Eagle, and go Vols, and go Dogs, and all this, that, and the other. And boy, I had a damn good time. I met a lot of people. And that's great and all. Your network's great. But at the end of the day, all those people that you're networking with, they're going to be in the same boat you're in. So manage your time wisely and think about where it is you're going and what you're doing, and be smart. Because just because going and getting a degree and going 4 years doesn't mean that you're guaranteed smart, and you're guaranteed to be smart or smarter, and that you're going to do something great and fantastic with it. So keep that in mind. I'm going to do more videos on this whole college thing. And because I know that I've got a lot of people out there, the Gen X, or maybe some older millennials that have got kids now, or they're wanting to figure out, what are we going to do? I mean, look at with AI, and what is my kid is, say, 12 years old now, and they're going to be graduating in 6 years from high school, which is like, believe me, snap your fingers, it's here. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? I would challenge you to get real skills. Get real skills and figure out the things that will be hard or be more AI proof than just going and just getting just some, whatever degree. It's just, it needs to be good, and it needs to be, you need to put AI thought into it. So let's move on. If you have questions on that, let me know in the comments and I'll reply. So yeah, we talked about this, Iran. Here we go again, war, companies taking on the chin, stocks going down. I mean, it's just not a good situation. Saw this, Palantir is moving its headquarters to Florida from Colorado. I totally get it. I'm in Tennessee. Companies are coming to Tennessee. Where else are they going? Austin, Texas. Where else are they going? Florida. Where else are they going? Atlanta, Georgia. Where else are they going? The Raleigh, Durham area. Where else? Knoxville, Tennessee, growing. Where else? Chattanooga, Tennessee. We've got Oracle coming here. I think they just started cutting ground on their new headquarters. They're moving a big, I think, I don't know if it's complete headquarters. I'm sure they'll still have a presence in California, but they're coming here to Nashville. So, yeah, these companies are leaving like crazy. I saw this too, property tax. As you know, if you've been on my channel, I'm not a fan of property tax. I think it's the end game when it comes to owning real estate, because let's just be honest, if you're paying property taxes, and okay, yeah, they go for a good cause. It helps with government schools, and gets for the fire engines and the ambulance and the police and the law enforcement and all the good things. And yeah, okay, I get that. But you also ultimately don't own the property if you don't pay the property taxes on that property. So in fact, not only do they come take the property from you, but they're not going to give you a refund on all the money that you're put in it, and there's no emotion in it. They're just you don't pay your property taxes, they're coming to get it, so you don't really truly own it. What you basically did in its raw fundamental form, and I know there's going to be people that disagree with this, but if you just boil it down to its simplest form, what's happening here is you're paying the previous person most likely more for the property than what they paid for it when they bought it. And if they held a long, long time, they're really getting more than what you paid for it. Now, you do have adjustment for the cost, the dollar and inflation and all that. But still, at the end of the day, you're paying the last person that had it a whole ton of money for now. You have the right to use it, okay? But do you really own it? Because as long as you're shelling out that property tax every year, you better pay it. And if you just don't pay it, and then watch what happens. They'll come take your property, and now you got none of your money back, and you don't have the property anymore. So to me, I would love to see property taxes go. I would see there to be a fair tax or a tax based on consumption. Like it's right here, it could push state sales tax to 20%. Fine, make it 20%. I'm good with that, because if I don't want it to pay the tax, I can choose not to purchase whatever it is. Now, I do believe that certain things like food and clothing should come at a zero tax or a highly reduced tax. So instead of 20%, you would be at, say, 3 or 2% for those items, or zero would be even better, because they're going to look to replace the revenue, right? Which is fine. Okay, you got to still take care of some of these basic needs, but it will force them to get more creative and smart and start cutting expenses back and quit wasting money than just collecting property tax money. That's one of the biggest scam taxes that there is property tax. So yeah, I would like to see that I would rather pay more sales tax than have property tax. So let me tell you, I'm in the Williamson County, Tennessee area. It's one of the wealthiest counties. I think it's the top 20 in the country. So there's a lot of entertainers here. There's a lot of money here. But our sales tax in this county is 9.75%. I think it's 9.75. I don't think it's 9.5. I think it's 9.75. So you're not, I mean, yeah, that's 10% more than here, this 20% that I'm pointing out, but still. So we came from Georgia. In the county that we lived in Georgia, the sales tax was 8%. Okay. And so people say, well, but in Georgia, there's income tax. No income tax in Tennessee, but we do have a higher sales tax. But here's the thing. My sales tax in Georgia was 8%. That was state, city, local, all of it, 8%. Here's what's crazy. So here in Williamson County, Tennessee, it's 9.75. Well, that's not a big difference. 9.75 to 8, that's 1.75%. Yeah, every dollar adds up and every penny counts. But at the end of the day, it's just 1.75%. So if you gave me a choice of paying 1.75% more on what I buy and consume versus paying state income taxes in Georgia at 8% sales tax, I'll take Tennessee all day long with zero income tax on my capital gains, on my income, on all of that, and I'll pay 9.75% on everything I buy. No problem. And if I have a problem with paying that 9.5%, that's fine. No problem. I just don't buy. Just don't buy it. I know that there are certain items in the state and in the counties in Tennessee where there's less tax for certain items, and I know they have tried. And this, I need to do more looking into this. And if you know, say in the comments, if you're from Tennessee or Williamson County, you're in this area here, food, groceries taxed at a lower rate. I want to say that I saw that, or maybe my old age is getting me. If you know, in the comments, hit it in the comments and let me know if you know. Do we get a reduced tax in Tennessee, sales tax, for like necessities like groceries? And I guess we can look it up. Let's do it. Is there a reduced tax on groceries in Tennessee? Yes, it currently has a reduced state sales tax rate of 4% on groceries, food, and food ingredients for human consumption, which is lower than the state's general sales tax rate of 7%. Local governments can add an additional 2.75% to this, totaling a lower tax than on general goods. So, yeah. So it's 4% on groceries rather than 7%. So it's 3%. And I like this. This is good. You want to know why? One of the big reasons why we moved from Georgia to Tennessee, this is a main one. right here. Much prefer a sales tax model with no income tax than both. And so, yeah, and in Georgia, the counties, they just keep getting higher and higher with their sales tax. And pretty soon they're going to be the same as our sales tax here in Tennessee with income tax. So, and here's some other little things. Tax holidays, 4% applies to items for human consumption, groceries, but does not include alcohol, tobacco, candy, and dietary supplements. Sure. Right. If you're going to go get alcohol and cigs and chokes or whatever, then you shouldn't get a better deal. You should pay tax on that. And by the way, I was at a gas station, I don't know, it was a couple months ago, and I was standing there getting ready to pay. And I look across, you have the cigarettes on the back wall back there. Now I'm looking up, and I'm looking at the price of cigarettes, and I'm going, I had to like wipe my eyes, like, am I reading that right? I know my eyesight's not as good now, not even close to what it used to be. But I had to double take. I was like, $9 for a pack of cigarettes? $9? And that was on the high end. There were some a little less than that. But, man, I remember when the pack of chokes was like $1.25, $1.50. I mean, $10 for a pack of chokes? I mean, whoa. I mean, and it should be. If you're going to smoke cigarettes and kill yourself, then you should pay for it. Pay a higher tax. And the amount of people smoking now is way lower. I don't hardly ever see anybody smoking cigarettes anymore. It's funny how back in the 60s and 70s, I hear my mother-in-law told me one time that back in the day when she was having my wife and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and in the hospital delivering babies, that they burning them right there in the delivery room. I mean, they're just smoking in. And you remember, you used to be able to smoke cigarettes on a airplane. You know, they had the smoking section in the back, and they had the little ashtrays or whatever. Not anymore. I mean, so actually smoking cigarettes now is like anti. You don't see it much anymore, and that's a good thing. We finally have turned the page and don't see that as a big thing. Oh, let's look at this. Assets by market cap. So I've done a couple videos here lately that have been pretty controversial. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say controversial. They've been very polarizing. Let's put it that way, about gold and silver and Bitcoin. And I want to talk about that for a little bit. And hit me anybody on here right now, hit in the chat. Do me a favor, hit me in the chat. Can you hear me, number one, and where are you coming from? I see we got a few people in here. Hit me and let me know where you're coming from in the chat. I don't know that I can reply back to you. For some reason, YouTube's chat capability is wrecked right now. Well, actually, no. I got another screen here that may work. Let's see. Yep, I've got chat. I do have it. I have it on another screen here. But I want to talk about these last couple of videos I've done. And so I started this channel back in September 9th, 2025. So it was our anniversary with my wife. And when I told her that, she was like, "Really? You started this channel on our anniversary?" I said, "Yeah, happy anniversary. It'd be easy to remember." She goes, "I don't remember that." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, how did I miss that? And I was like, well, I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a long time. And, it's typical. You procrastinate. And, I'm not good at talking. I'd say too many ums, so, ands, all this stuff. I'm not cut for it. It's that fear, and it's common, very common. And I just was like, so I was sitting here at this desk where I'm doing this live stream, and I look over and I see this camera that's sitting here. And I use this camera. I've got a bunch of tech cameras. I'm a tech guy. So I use it for my daughter's activities, for their golf and for the drumline stuff that my youngest daughter does. And I've got all sorts of like GoPro type cameras. I've got gimbal stuff, all of this. And so I got into so I said to myself, you know what? There's no better time than now. I'm just going to grab this camera and I'm going to go for a walk and I'm just going to record myself talking. So if you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, go for it. That's a good time. It's really a good time to start a YouTube channel if you are in your 40s and 50s and you've got a lot of experience and knowledge and stuff, and you can talk to people. And this gets back to the old AI thing I was talking about earlier. People want to connect with people now. And Gen Boomers, which not so much, but more Gen X and your millennials, your older millennials, they've been around a while. They've got a lot of knowledge and experience and can help those that are looking for direction, advice, coaching, strategy, whatever it might be. And so I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to take this camera. I'm going to go for a walk. And you can go right here on the channel, go down to my videos and scroll down the first one. I remember it was September. It was a warm day. I went on a walk and I just kind of started telling my story. I had no direction. I had no notes. It was just me walking and rambling. And I got a few eyeballs. That was it. And I didn't expect to get more than just that anyway. So I did this. I started this channel and I started talking about my life experiences and things that I've learned over the years that I could help others with, like delayed gratification, convenient justification, learning how to pivot when things change and not get stuck in your ways. Just all these different things that I've learned over life, how I got into crypto. And then that evolved into the markets, and because I've got a lot of experience in markets and investing. And so then that turned into gold and silver because I'm fairly new to gold and silver. I'm guilty of what I called out in my videos. And let me explain to you why. I am a tech guy. I've come up in the digital world. I'm probably there's many Gen Xers out there that graduated and got tech degrees around when I did, but there's not tons of us out there. And so I came up in a digital world. I'm an early adopter with all sorts of tech, and I enjoy it. And so I've moved. So I can share a lot of things with people about my life and experiences. I've done a lot of stuff and I've been really successful. I've owned several businesses and I'm an entrepreneur and I've built them with tech from the ground up. And so, but I got into gold and silver. And because of I was getting at with the tech, with Bitcoin and crypto, because of the digital future, I do believe that we are moving more and more towards being a digital economy, a digital society. We're already doing it now with Netflix, with streaming, with music, whether you use Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, whatever we are more and more digital every day. And we just can't help it. Tech always wins. That's another one of my earlier videos that I did was called Tech Always Wins. Go check it out. It was the first video I did that actually got momentum. And so then I have a brother-in-law in Georgia that has been a stacker of gold and silver for quite a long time. And I was a digital guy. And so he opened up to me. And he actually may be watching right now on this channel. If you are, brother-in-law, say hi in the chat. Sometimes I ramble. A ramble is all you need. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sometimes a ramble is all you need. And that's what gets you started. So if you think, just do it. You just have to do it. Just go and do it. Is it going to be pretty? No. Is it going to be, like broadcaster quality? No. I still am like stumbling over my words and the ums and the uhs, but I am more critical of myself just because I'm hearing myself. But you, as the audience listening to me, you just, hey, that's just the way this guy is. It's nothing big to you. You don't notice it like I do, right? Where are you from, by the way? I can't pronounce that. Plus something. Plus some shows. Where are you coming from? What part of the world are you in? Hit me in the comment. I love to know where people are coming from. So anyway, he was kind of like, this digital Bitcoin stuff, I don't know about all that. It's just, what happens if the electrical grid goes down? What happens if, the computer goes out? What happens if this? It's all the what ifs, right? And then my rebuttal was, Virgin Islands. Wow. Congratulations. Do you live there or are you visiting there? I got to know that. Just say plus. Okay. Which is what I did. Hey man, thanks for joining the channel. I appreciate it. So are you a resident? Are you native to the Virgin Islands? Or you live there? Cool. Awesome. Well, I'd love to be there right now. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, where it's actually been warm lately, but we were like 2.5, 3 weeks where we barely got above freezing at all, which is rare. I appreciate you tuning in to the channel. So yeah, my brother-in-law was big metals guy, gold, silver. I was a digital guy. And we kind of opened up to each other. He enlightened me to the gold and silver, and I think vice versa. I enlightened him on the crypto thing. I think he Bitcoin. He sees the value because the premise is the same as gold. So I look at these assets for what they are, and so I pivoted to gold and silver. I used to say this. Oh, what are you gonna do? And you can even go back in some of my early videos and see that I said, what are you going to do? Get your hand truck and haul your block of gold around, and you're going to get your chisel and your hammer and your scale, and you're going to like chisel that stuff off and all that. It's just stupid, ignorant speak is what it is. And so what did I do? I educated myself. I learned more about it. And at this time, gold and silver were starting to really start to go. And I'm like, I thought I need to rethink my thinking. I've had this kind of rigid mindset here, and I need to rethink that. And so I started looking into gold and silver. Now, I had already invested in physical gold and silver. So what did I do? I started getting some gold, buying, investing in gold and silver, because I thought to myself, if I'm truly going to diversify, I'm heavy into stocks, I'm heavy into ETFs, I'm heavy into crypto, Bitcoin. Where else can I spread besides going from energy stocks to utilities to tech to just consumer discretionary? I wanted to get in major different buckets like metals, like equities, stocks, ETFs, like crypto, like real estate, land. And that's the area, surprisingly, I've been in real estate for over 25 years. I'm the lightest on, if you can believe that. And I've sold over $50 million worth of land in my time, and being in the tech, real estate, and before that selling land. And so I'm trying to fill those buckets to diversify for the future growth and for my legacy and my family. And so I have recently gotten into gold and silver. Well, it has been historically that the Bitcoiners, the Bitcoin maxis, have been all thumping their chests. They're like, yeah, gold and silver's done nothing. It's been around forever, and here it is, just chopping along, not doing anything. And they've been thumping their chest, thinking they're all cool. And I didn't necessarily think that was a great thing. My comment was maybe just not practical, right? It's a form of transacting with. Well, I've changed. I can see where it will be. But I still love Bitcoin as well. So I do these videos here recently where I've done a lot of gold and silver videos because I'm into it. I think it's wonderful. I think the investments are great. Yes, it has been here recently that they've gone, up and to the right like crazy. They've since drawn back. But look, it tried to make a move today, but I'll put this on the daily. We've kind of been chopping along here, and same with silver, and it's going to do that. I mean, when something goes up, look at this chart. That's just unbelievable. And look, if you go back and you go to Bitcoin and we got to go further back. But look at that. This is on the monthly time frame, but even on the weekly time frame, we've given a lot of it back. But if you've been in Bitcoin at all, or you've seen, this stuff changes in a moment's notice when you least expect it. And so I just look at these as assets, all right? And so with my last video, I called out a good bit of people on a lot of their comments, because I just think they're silly and ridiculous. Now it's the metals people that are over there going, aha, told you so, told you so. That digital prison, that all that bit fraud, and all these calling this stuff names, and it's going to zero, and it's about $66,000 overvalue, and it should be zero, and all this stuff, and I'm sitting here thinking, what kind of sense does that make at the end of the day? Because I can guarantee you, if you just so happen to have bought Bitcoin back, let's just say 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't think you'd be saying that now. If you still had it, you'd be even at 66,000. And at 126, when we were there not long ago, 5 months ago, you would have said to yourself, ho, this is the coolest thing. I'm glad I got this, unless gold or silver. And so, it's easy to sit back and say that. But here's my take. At the end of the day, I don't know which one of these assets is going to end up being the king of the world and the ruler of it all. I would have loved for it to be the United States dollar. It is the global reserve currency, but it's not like it's just crushing it. It's falling apart right now. So in a utopia, I would love for USD to be the dominating asset. Just be it. That be the currency. That be US dollar, baby. Let's go America. I would love that, but the reality of it is, this is being debased so hard. I just read to you, we're pumping like $18-19 billion into the system overnight. And so what does that do? That's just flooding more money in, and that's just debasing the currency more, and they just can't help themselves. So I got to find ways to store wealth in something other than the United States dollar. And so I could just say, it's going to be gold only, and only gold. Okay, and some people feel that way, and that's the way you are. You do you, no problem, cool, good for you. But I choose to silver, because it's got a lot more use cases than gold does. It's also more volatile. Why is it more volatile? Well, let's just talk about it right here. When you have an asset that's $35 trillion, it takes a lot to make that volatile. This is the number one asset by market cap in the entire world. Behind it is NVIDIA, and then behind that is silver. Well, I got news for you. Silver was just above it to like $6-7 trillion before we had this event right here. Look at that. We got $121 an ounce, and this got us to market cap in like the $7 trillion range. And so look, we've drawn back. We were blowing NVIDIA away, and then now we're drawn back. And so then you say, well, I saw this on a comment too. Well, Bitcoin is just it's too volatile. It should be going up right now if it was doing what it's supposed to be doing and all that. Well, I don't disagree with you. I think it probably should, but I know it eventually will. And I'd also know that now gold and silver is taking all of the narrative right now. And if you've been in crypto at all for any period of time, you know that narratives are everything in crypto. Narratives are everything in crypto, and it changes like that. And you guys are getting a good dose of what the crypto world is like. But don't think for a second that it's gold and silver up and to the right forever, because it will come down and it will fall, and it will fall hard. And the reason why Bitcoin was at like $2.5 trillion just a few months ago, and it's come down to 1.3. Well, the smaller these assets are, these commodity type assets, the easier it is to. It doesn't take much buying and selling to slam it hard one way or the other, right? Because it doesn't, to go from nothing to something doesn't take a lot of energy, right? But to go from 100 of something to 200, it takes a lot more to get there. I don't know if you're like familiar with volume and wattages and current or not, but if you have your volume on your radio set for like a 10, right? It takes a certain amount of energy to produce that 10. Well, as you turn it to 11, 12, 13, 20, 25, when you start turning that dial up, it takes exponentially more energy to get more out of it. And it's the same thing here. With these bigger assets, these smaller ones, it doesn't take a lot to move it one way or the other. So the higher you go, the more it takes. It's just like if you're an athlete, once you get to a level to get, like if you're a 20 handicap golfer, well, to get down to a 10 handicap golfer, it's not going to take you that entire 15 to 10, not going to be long to do. But to go to 10, from 10 to 5, that's hard. To go from 5 to scratch, oh, it is like, and I was that guy. I got down to a 5-6 handicap in golf and couldn't get any better. And that was just playing about 60, 70 rounds a year, which is like a ton for most people. But that was as good as I could get in that amount of time. And could I have gotten better? Yeah, if I'd played a lot of golf growing up in college and really put the time, probably could have gotten there with the. But I just, it couldn't get there. I could have but I have a career, life, businesses. I couldn't, and that was a ton of golf, more golf actually than I probably should have played. And so I just don't, back to the gold, silver, and Bitcoin thing. I'm just, this whole thing is silly, that pitting each other against each other, because here's the deal. I don't know which one of these assets is going to hit it out of the park one day. And neither do you. Or it didn't even have to do that. Or they're going to survive. And I don't know who's going to beat who and who's going to outdo the other. But what I do know is that if I own them all, in addition, so all, what do I mean by owning all? I'm going to leave stocks and equities out of it now, but I'm talking about more your the single type assets that are like store of value kind of stuff. And those to me are gold, silver. You could argue palladium and platinum and some of the copper are, but not really, not yet. I mean, it's really gold and silver kind of rule the day. So I'm just going to stick with those two because they're like the gold, the Bitcoin and Ethereum of the digital world. The next would be Bitcoin, and then real estate, land specifically, not a house on a quarter acre. I'm talking about 20 acres of land, 10, 100, 1,000, whatever. So what I say, Bitcoin, gold, silver, land, guns, and ammo. Believe it or not, I don't know if some of you know this. I'm sure a lot of y'all are watching my channel. Guns and ammo are, to me, they're an asset. Here's why. I'll tell you this. I started buying ammo probably 15 years ago at a pretty heavy clip. And do you know that I could sell that ammo now and actually more than double my money on a lot of it? In some cases, triple, quadruple my money of what I paid for the ammo then compared to what I paid now. Now, the dollar is so far debased, right? Remember, the asset really hasn't changed the value that much. It's the dollar has lost so much and been debased so much that it forces the other assets up higher, right, in price. So it's like the one side is affecting the other side significantly. So we got to make sure we keep that in mind. But yeah, I did the last video because I just mentioned Bitcoin just a little bit in a gold, silver, video, and it just brings out people just, man, you were great until you brought up Bitcoin. It's like, man, I'm in awe. If you're on my channel, this is my hope for my channel, that if you're one of these that are skeptical or you're not sure, hopefully I can help you cross the bridge to get to the other side and at least give it a chance. Or at least say, you know what, maybe Gen X guy is right. Maybe if I do have a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, or it could be a lot of gold, a lot of silver, a little bit of Bitcoin, or it could be a lot of Bitcoin, I'll get some ammo, some guns, have some land. If I get all those things, that in the end, that's truly winning. Because, and I say that at the end, towards the end of that last video, is I don't know which of these assets is going to be the king of them all and all this. But what I do know is that I own them all. And that I purely can't lose, can I, overall? Because I got them all. Now, if like one or two of them don't make it, I still got 2, 3, 4 other ones that they may be the ones. And it may be all of them that do well over time, which my bet is they do. And so I'm not going to be prejudiced against assets. I'm going to take them at what they are. And I see gold as a store of value, and it's used for jewelry. and it could be used for trading that in and for cabbage or for potatoes or for food or for water or for guns or for ammo or whatever. I see that, but I hope we don't ever have to do that. I really don't, but I could see that being used as a form of currency, right? I see silver the same way, for more transactional, for lower cost, because and it's being used more in industrial use. So I see the value in that. I see Bitcoin. I see it's a digital representation of store of value, and there's 21 million of them. It has a very fixed supply. We don't know that gold and silver have an exact fixed supply. They say asteroids out there have gold in them that could hit, and all of a sudden we got all this extra gold. That'll make the price go down, right? So, but we do know Bitcoin has 21 million. No, it's not a Ponzi scheme. No, there's not the Wizard of Oz guy in the background pushing buttons. No, they're not gonna like shut the door and take all your money, and that's now if the electrical grid goes out, then yeah, we're out. Bitcoin's down. We're not doing anything with it. But if that happens, we got way bigger problems on our hands than worrying about Bitcoin. And I'm not so sure gold and silver are going to save the day either. And then so I see land is also a store of value, a store of survival and necessity. And I see guns and ammo in order to have all those other things, you got to be able to protect those assets if push comes to shove. Now, let me just say this, and we'll wrap this live stream up. I hope we don't ever come to a situation like that in this country or this world, because that's not a world I want to live in. I don't want to be swapping shifts with my brother-in-law, a night shift of guarding the farm or the land, and all of our food and water and animals and gold and silver, and all, because the world's gone to hell overnight. That is not a world I want to live in, but I'm prepared for it to last longer than others if it comes down to it. So, and I'm not going to be one of these types that's just, Armageddon. We're dying tomorrow. We're all going. We're going to hell. It's a war. It's coming. Yeah. Living my life every day, that's going to be that situation. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to live my life and continue on, because the chances are, we've been saying this kind of stuff forever, and it hasn't happened. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't, and it won't, and I'm prepared for that. So if my channel, and this is kind of the closing remarks here, I appreciate any of you being on the channel. If you would, hit me in the chat. Let me know you're here, and let me know where you're from before we wrap this thing up. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm trying to get these live streams going. I've had a few more. Every time I do them, there's a few more. And I'm just, doing what I can to share my knowledge. But if there's something specific you want to hear, let me know in the comments. And if there's anything my channel can do, is hopefully make you think a little bit more outside the box and say, maybe that is not a bad idea. Maybe I should give me a little Bitcoin. Maybe I should give me a little gold. Maybe I should have some ammo, or and maybe a gun or two, or some guns, or lots of guns. Whatever it is that you think is best for you and your family, you do. But that's because I know that one day that stuff's going to be worth a lot of money, whether we need it or not. And I hope we never do need it. Hey, thanks, Plus. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. My first commenter was last week on my live stream, and they were from Oklahoma City. And so that was cool. So my second was you from the Virgin Islands, and that is awesome. I appreciate you being here on the channel and being a part of it. I'm growing it. It's a grind. I love it. I appreciate it. So I'm going to wrap it up for the night, guys. Plus, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Gen X guy out. See ya. Bye.